these mics suck compared. It sort of works, sort of not. Luckily, I'm a loudmouth.
Was anybody from PD calling in? Joyce and them?
Nobody texted Ruby they were going to call in.
I told it, right now I just not, you said a name, I told it to text Todd. No, you haven't got anything.
The chief is excused for medical. I haven't seen Joyce. So.
Should we turn it on just for in case for the beginning?
Hmm?
Should we turn it on?
Sure, just if you want to check. Speak of the devil. Welcome, welcome. Do you have an agenda for her, Ruby?
Yes.
Wow. Full house. Welcome.
I turned it off.
I knew you'd come.
All right, at 6 o'clock, we'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Start with roll call. Chief Manuel is excused. Joyce Lopez. Present. John Tennis.
Here.
Tim Cotto.
Present.
Brad Lingard.
Present.
Chad Newby.
Present.
And record be known, Brian Stepla is also excused. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance.
Excuse me, Chairman, this is a point of order. The ex officio from the police department is Sergeant Wright, so it should be reflected on the.
And Sergeant Wright is also here on roll call. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item for consent agenda is approval of minutes from meeting on April 17, 2025. Do we have a motion to approve?
Approved.
Do we have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. New business, item A, discussion on quarterly drills. Does anybody want to take item 1 for discussion on 2025 Q2 drill?
We haven't had one. No discussion at all on this yet.
So no drill for Q2 2025. Do we have anything for Q3? Item 2, discussion on Q3 drill.
Yes, we will, as well as for the night for the drill, resolution couple, so we'll do that via email with Assistant Chief Tim, and that will be likely a medical response.
Just a comment. There was a subcommittee that arranged these drills. It was made up of the police chief, the fire chief, and Scott. So we need to reform that. The police chief, whoever's working, filling his slot, will probably need to fill that slot on the committee until we can get the chief back at his desk. So if you guys want to offline, send an email and figure out, or do we want to appoint somebody from resolution now to take lead on that?
Yeah, we can regroup offline for that one, because it's sort of linked to item number C. Thanks, Mr. Pryor, but agreed. Need to re-establish that committee and get the annual plan going forward.
All right, thank you.
Any other discussion or questions on those Q2 and Q3 drill? Carrying on, item B, discussion on resolution project updates and planning for relative items of support of the ESA, including annual emergency service plans.
Okay, so I'll take a couple quick updates, and then you guys can talk more about the emergency services plan. The emergency services agreement is coming up on a bit of a milestone. If the timing works as anticipated, the construction phase could start within the next year. Construction phase we will start to see call volume impacts, and the EIS, all of our mitigation agreements, call for us to work out a new agreement for emergency response. It includes a second ambulance and another crew of police officers, and an admin staff and some traffic impacts. But the discussions around the emergency services contract have started, and we are going to have to update our numbers, update our planning, and get ready for that. It's going to be a major transition for both departments. We're going to have problems with pay scale and hiring that many people. It's going to be a challenge. So this should be a fairly robust conversation over a long period of time before we can really get this nailed down. So that'd be another item I would request that we start with a subcommittee, that same subcommittee, and start working on action items, working on a plan, so that we can have clear direction to give to our management what that agreement needs to look like. And I would suggest that you request from me all of the previous contracts and the mitigation agreements, so we all know the language that we're starting from. And then we were talking about the annual emergency response plan, service plan. I know Tim had sent that latest draft out, right?
Yes.
And the general procedures for everyone to have an edit, return it to Tim so we can integrate it into the new plan, and then we can bring it back here for adoption. So the update would be from Tim as to where we stand on it.
Okay, I haven't received any. I think I put in there, I thought it was mentioned that it was to be sent to you, but I can put that out there and they can send it to me. And I'll-
Yeah, the town manager is probably a little busy right now for that.
Sure.
The main document, it's very functional. I don't think there's any huge problems with it. Nonetheless, I'm sure everyone's going to we have new people at the table. There's going to be new input, so I want to make sure this reflects current conditions. We also need to make a determination whether this change will change the emergency response plan. Do all those things still apply under the construction phase?
Correct. I think that was certainly the intent to add this one to the agenda item. It's a great time for the review and looking at the information of that subcommittee. We've had a couple of changes on the resolution copy side. So looking at the annual emergency services plan as it's detailed in the ESA, I'm taking that opportunity to review that and the risk profile coming up in the next 6 to 12 months.
Again, I think that's an excellent thing for the subcommittee to sit and meet and go over those changes, make sure we're all in agreement, then integrate them into a draft and bring it back to the full committee.
Correct.
Any further questions or comments on new business item B? Hearing none, carrying on. New business item C, discussion, resolution would like to discuss offer de-escalation training for any interested roles connected to the ESA.
Yeah, so just to share on this one, for the last 2 or 3 years, Resolution COP has been working through with a specialist consultant for de-escalation training. This consultant is a certified hostage negotiator and has specific skill sets in and around public engagement, de-escalation, etc. So we've already met with a number of folks outside of the ESA to provide that opportunity. The consultant dates available are going to be from the 11th through the 22nd of August. And that training can be provided either at Resolution Copper facilities, training facilities, and or at the police or fire department or town hall as well. So this consultant was actually provided to us by previous Superior Police Department chief, and yeah, we've had good success with them over the years. So just like to offer that as we said, direct connection to the ESA and services there and around the risk profile that we see across the project.
So a question for Sergeant Wright. Would this qualify for AZ post training as well? Could the guys use this in their recertification?
We probably could. I'll have to look in and get the actual highlighted portion of that to see if it would, but whether it would or not, I'm pretty sure we can add that to continuing, but the actual training itself would benefit several of our officers. So it's something I'm going to get with y'all offline and get more information on that, so we can so I can bring it up to my boss when he's feeling better and see how many people we can get in at a time and shift coverage and all that good stuff. But I'll check on that as well.
If this is something that would be of use to law enforcement or fire, I would suggest that we reach out to other Copper Quarter agencies as well, because usually full classes are better. But and it's a good way to help team build with the other responding agencies around us.
Agreed.
Any other questions or comments on item C before we move on? Hearing none, new business item D, discussion updates for the 5th of July fireworks display planning.
Yes, a big thanks to Assistant Chief Martello for support so far with working through this year's fireworks display preparations. We just wanted to share that we'll have a risk assessment on site on Monday. We'll be involving the response agencies, primarily the fire department and associated resources issue there. And we'll have the scheduled date for Saturday, 5th of July. And don't see any issues so far with being able to work through that. County Superior's done a great job in getting the vendor provided. So from priority risk in around fire and explosives, we'll be, like I said, we'll do that risk assessment controls through next week and any other support needed.
Any questions or comments on item D?
The Assistant Chief has asked for information on siphon draw fire fuels again. In this case, they're not the fire fuels, it's siphon draw fire. They have a Type 2 attack team, 10 guys. We've had them on site the last few years. I think it's an excellent safety improvement. We haven't had to use them, but it'd be a huge asset if we ever do.
Absolutely.
Any other questions, discussion? Hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll second motion.
Second?
I'll second it. And go.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries, meeting adjourned at 6:12.
It was a little longer.